Good morning, Mr. Mayor and members of the Emergency Management Team. I'm Bill Cope, Regional Emergency Coordinator for the City of Burlington and Greater Chittenden County. I'll be facilitating the coordinated response activities for the imminent winter storm predicted to impact our immediate geographical area 4 to 7 January. We are currently interfacing with the Division of Emergency Management and Homeland Security in Montpelier for resource allocation, communication capabilities, and emergency services to include the activation of memorandums of agreement for mutual support from adjacent counties. Currently, we are in the pre-impact stage of the storm. We are assessing risks, monitoring the National Weather Service for updates, and working closely with state and federal response agencies. All Central Burlington and Chittenden County employees have been directed to report to their respective departments to assist in emergency preparations. Concurrently, all non-essential personnel have been directed to remain home for the duration of this event. Burlington International Airport has canceled all flights for today and tomorrow, and the severity of this weather emergency cannot be understated. Chittenden County is currently under an ice storm warning. What this means, ladies and gentlemen, is that a life-threatening severe winter event has begun or will begin within the next 24 hours. The rest of the state of Vermont is under both ice and winter storm warnings depending on their location. Primarily, this threat is in the northern counties of the state. It is anticipated that the storm will impact the region within the next 12 hours, potentially lasting up to 96 hours when combined with follow-on forecasts for additional snow. The most dangerous threat to the Burlington area is freezing rain, accumulating up to 6 inches, exponentially increasing risks to road travel, particularly along our primary arteries, Interstates 89 and 91. But perhaps most importantly, the ice could build up on trees and power lines, resulting in massive power outages, impacting our most at-risk citizens the most, to include the elderly, lower income, nursing home residents, and those homeless. Our emergency planning will take into account those people in particular to ensure that our response and recovery resources are applied accordingly. Emergency services could also be adversely affected, specifically hospital operations should power become problematic. We are coordinating with local hospitals to ensure that their backup power systems are tested, that they are viable at this time, and that they can sustain operations over a period of days. Statewide, it is anticipated that follow-on snow will compound the situation, increasing the threat of structure collapse, which we have begun to coordinate with our emergency services personnel, particularly our fire department, to ensure that we have the assets in place and that we're ready to respond to such emergencies. Chittenden County and the City of Burlington are both moving proactively to mobilize resources, identify key personnel, and notify the public as to the dangers inherent from this storm. Our emergency management plan has been activated with our crisis action team set to meet immediately following this brief. Our CAT, or Crisis Action Team, includes key emergency management stakeholders such as the fire department, the fire chief, the police chief, public works director, the city attorney, and other key people who will have direct influence on our planning processes. Also, before the end of the day, we plan on tabletopping our continuity of operation procedures at our alternate EOC site by the end of the day. The intent here is again to refamiliarize personnel as to what steps need to take place should we have to move to our alternate site and continue to support the community through this storm. It is recommended that city and county leaders advise the citizenry to avoid all unnecessary travel after 6 p.m. tonight. As you know, schools have already been closed for the duration of the storm event, thus reducing traffic and increasing safety to our children. Concurrently, we counsel against any type of evacuation except for those whose medical condition requires their immediate movement to alternate facilities. The Department of Public Works should also immediately pre-stage sand and salt trucks and drivers in strategic locations in anticipation of immediate road clearing operations. In closing, Vermont Alert will be leveraged to keep the citizenry informed. Concurrently, DEMHS has pre-positioned hard copies of the emergency preparedness workbooks at public libraries and local DMVs for the public to pick up free of charge. The workbooks are also available online, and the next briefing on this severe winter storm event will be conducted at 8 p.m. tonight. The intent of that brief is to again gather key decision makers, provide an update, and assess the situation should any additional measures or the compression of timelines be necessary. So we'll be dealing with that as the day moves through. Are there any questions at this time? Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for meeting with us today. Again, we can't emphasize enough the seriousness of the event about to unfold. Of course, the first order of effect is the storm itself, primarily impacting transportation. The second order effect, perhaps the most critical or the most dangerous, are follow-on power outages that will impact our emergency management services and the ability of the citizenry to stay comfortable in their homes. So we'll be concentrating on response and recovery efforts in that area. So again, if there aren't any further questions, thanks for your time, and we will see you later on this evening.